It's a nice day today, at least in DC. Happy spring. And you know what comes next. Cue the music. So today I wanted to apologize. I told you that I would let you see me unbox the Nutmeg grinder. And I didn't lie, I intended to, but it came packaged with something else that I didn't want to, something secret. No, it's just something that I just didn't want to discuss in this. It's just way outside the scope, so I just unboxed it separately. But I will allow you to watch me use it for the first time. See, it's like a pepper scraper, except at the bottom there's just a single grate. Is it a grate when it's just a one thing? I don't know. Which way does it come off? Lefty loosey. So I had to turn it Widdershins to get it off. If you know what that word means, that probably made you giggle. Anyway, here are my nutmeg things, which I still have not looked up the proper word for. I'm just going to call them kernels. How about that? Nutmeg kernels. So what you do is you take one, you drop it down in, and you see this little device on the bottom that grips. It grips a hold of that, and I'm hoping that I'm doing this right. I don't know. I don't want to break anything. I have a bad tendency of breaking. I broke a spoon the other day mixing up dinner, and I don't know why it is, but I have a weird tendency of breaking things. I've actually broken back brushes. I had a wooden back brush that was kind of like a shaft of wood and a wooden base with bristles, and I broke it. I had it on my back, and I kind of somehow broke the base, not the handle, and it came out of the handle. And then I thought, well, you can just slip the handle back in and hopefully just be more gentle with it. But as I was pushing the handle back in, the whole base split apart and the handle dug into my hand. You know what? As a matter of fact, just to be gross about this, I think I'm going to post a picture of my hand. I have a picture of this from the shower when this happened, and honestly, look at me. I'm not a weakling, but I'm not so strong that I should be breaking things as often as I do. So that's why I'm being extra careful with this, because it's a little plastic thing, and I don't want to break it as I often do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind a little bit of nutmeg into my hand and then lick it off. Oh, there it is. See? So here it is. Here's the ultimate test about whether everything that people have been telling me about fresh ground nutmeg is true. I've got a little towel here just to wipe my hand off, because I'm not going to go through the rest of this thing with a sticky wet hand. It's got a different consistency too. Oh wow. I'll tell you what, if you watch the other episode where I actually licked the nutmeg thing, which may be the one that is actually in the grinder right now, it's the same taste. It's essentially the same taste. It's a little stronger, probably because it was ground. But I have to say, the purists are right. This is far superior to pre-ground nutmeg. And this little thing right here, I'm probably going to, at some point, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not going to get a regular grater and grate nutmeg the old 18th century way. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to stuff like this. This thing, even if I do end up breaking it at some point, which is inevitable, I'm probably just going to buy a new one and grate nutmeg that way. So sorry I didn't unbox that, but I do have something to unbox and an interesting story behind this. I know what this is. God, I hope I know what this is. If this is something else that I wasn't expecting to show up today, then I will be embarrassed. But it looks like it's exactly what I thought it was. Okay, I have a feeling that opening it up height-wise was not a good idea because it may fight me getting out of this packaging. Or it may not. Okay, so this is a used book, Past Worlds, the Atlas of Archaeology, which, you know, I'm fascinated by archaeology, and early hominids in East Asia. You've got the agricultural revolution. So here's the thing. The agricultural revolution comes this late in the book, which is just perfect because I was really looking for something that could give me a sort of geographic sense of the Stone Age before. I mean, technically, the agricultural revolution is in the Stone Age. It's in the Neolithic. But I wanted more. I really don't like historical atlases that just look, diagrams, maps. I love this stuff. But I don't like the ones that sort of rush through the Stone Age, rush through the Classical Age, rush through the Middle Ages, and then spend the last half of the book on the 1800s, 1900s, and 2000s. So this one, you know, I'm about halfway through, and it's just now to 1000 BC to AD 650. So love it, love it. And here's like Rome. But here's the story behind this book, and why I'm kind of excited about it is that apparently this was a book that was overproduced. I've actually seen this book in bookstores before. I don't know why I didn't get it. Where am I going to put this? This book is so huge. I'm flummoxed. But I'd seen that book before, and I'd considered getting it. You know, in the cheapo racks that you find at the front of Barnes and Noble or other bookstores. I just didn't at any point. But apparently it was overproduced. And I found it on Amazon for $1.49. If you see a book like that for $1.49 and you're even vaguely interested in that sort of thing, you're going to pick that book up. Now, a lot of you might be saying, oh, but books are so devalued. It's like, no, they're not devalued. The problem is, like I said, they must have produced far too many books like this. And so now, you know, their value, according to them, is a supply-demand thing. You know, a book like this that's very valuable to me, I would have paid so much more for this book. But because they made too many of them, there's a whole bunch of them out there, and then people who are only like tangentially interested, or they just want this book as one of their coffee table books to make themselves look cultured. You know, those people are not going to pay the full price, which I don't even know if the full price is on here. Let's see what they thought that this book was worth. No, it's not. I don't see an original price on here anywhere. But I imagine this book, this book could have started out at somewhere like $50. And, you know, I might have paid $50 if it had been, you know, the thing that was on my mind at the time. That's the problem. When I did see this in bookstores, it wasn't the thing that was on my mind at the time. And today, or when I purchased it recently, it was. But they just made too many. And so that miscalculation in the publisher's account eventually benefited me because, apparently someone else bought this book and then sold it to a reseller because, you know, you can tell from the condition of the cover that it's not. This isn't a new book, and I don't care. They didn't destroy it, so what do I care? I like the books for the content, I don't want them to look pretty, necessarily. But anyway, $1.49 for that book. See, this is why a lot of these unboxings, I'm sure people are like, how can he afford all this stuff? $1.49. That's less than a Starbucks coffee. That's less than a lot of coffee. That's less than a diner coffee. I've been to diners where coffees were $2. And so, you know, unlike that coffee, which is that, you know, you can keep getting refills until you get dizzy in the head on $2. Sure, one day. This book is mine for the rest of my life. $1.49. That's crazy. Go out and find the books that you want. Buy them. And while you're doing that, you should before you do that, you should first like, share, and subscribe to this podcast because I lost my cursor. There it is. This is the problem when you don't have a producer. I need to get a producer. Get a producer. There's nobody over there. But like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. I'm going to keep this one short because I just had an apology to make and an interesting book-selling observation to make. But do subscribe. I sometimes do longer things. I sometimes do weirder things. This wasn't as weird as the last one. And so there's your something to look forward to if you subscribe to Thoughts of Leith.